morning, good morning, good morning, and it is a beautiful sunny Saturday morning here in Nottinghamshire. It's so warm and sunny today. I've got the door open, so in the background you may hear the sounds of birdsong and people mowing their lawns. But I can't sit with my door shut today, it's just too nice and too warm in here for definite. So today I'm doing my May ATC swap with Susie this month. So the theme for May was monochrome. Now, because I enjoyed doing last month's, which was Hello Yellow, I thought this month I would do that again, but this time doing all yellow. So these were the ATCs I received from Sally last month. So Sally's done mostly, obviously, yellows, yellow waxes with whites and blacks, which is fine. I'm going to attempt to do kind of like collage again this month, but using mostly papers taken from my retro collage collection and also from the Nature's Inspiration. So I've gone through taking out some of the yellow and orangey, darker yellow kind of papers, and I've punched circles and some shapes out to layer and create my collage with on that. But for the background, I'm going to use this William Morris willow pattern stamp that I designed for ILoveIndigoblu as part of one of their many launches a while ago. So what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to first of all go over the majority of the cardstock. So I've cut this piece of watercolor cardstock, well, actually it's mixed media cardstock, and I've cut this at 3.5 inches by 7.5 inches, which means I can cut it down into 3 later. So, but what I want to do is I'm going to try and just create a kind of background. I'm not really concentrating too much on the edges because we will be cutting this up anyway, but it's creating kind of like a masterboard, if you like. A masterboard, a motherboard, whatever you want to call them. I'm using the VersaFine Claire Golden Meadow ink. So I'm just going to go around adding in that yellow, but I'm not trying to do a really even coating all over. I want that kind of mottly background. Okay, so let me just lift that up. You can see it's kind of mottled. Put that to one side, grab a wet wipe and just clear. And now you see my worktop isn't clearing with that wet wipe, but it will if I use alcohol and use the same cloth. There we go. So this is what we call here in the UK methylated spirits, which is just the same thing. It's just alcohol. It's just coloured purple and then given a flavour to stop people that will make you sick if you drink it. Because people do. Because people are sick. Okay, so that's why it's purple. But otherwise, it's isopropyl alcohol. It's just got that additive to stop people from drinking it and making themselves poorly. Right. You could use surgical spirit as well, or cheap vodka, if there is such a thing these days. Right, so just to kind of add a little bit of decoration in the background, I'm going to use this new stencil that I created using the wallpaper that we found behind the radius when we're decorating the bedroom. And I'm just going to take a little bit of that orange, just for a little bit. You're not really going to see a huge amount. It'll be quite subtle. There you go, you see. Quite subtle. And I've just moved it, but that doesn't matter if it moves, because don't forget we are cutting this up into 3. And orange being just a shade darker than that golden meadow yellow anyway. There we go. It's quite a nice little stencil, this. So I can't remember whether I've released it on the website yet. I probably haven't, knowing me. But what I will do, I will make sure it's available tonight. So if you want this stencil, I'll make sure that I release it. There we go. Just add a little bit more. Just there, I think. That's better. It's kind of a nice, subtle pattern, isn't it? I like it. I like it a lot. Right, so done with the yellow for now. So what I want to do now is come back again, this time with the main ink. So this is the willow pattern. And I think what I'll do, I should have probably stuck this down to a block first. Just because, but I'll tell you what I'll do is I'll do it this way instead. Like that. That has kind of taken over a bit, hasn't it? But you know what? Not to worry. It is a bit darker than I thought. I may have to rethink this one. Or maybe not. Right, let that dry for a minute, and then I'll be back once I've contemplated what I'm going to do. All right, so that's what I did. Didn't like it, so instead I did the same thing again. I created the background with the yellow, and then I used the willow bough or the willow pattern stamp with the same golden meadow ink just over the top. So I did a very light background and then went over the top using exactly the same ink, this time full on onto the cardstock to create that. So I think that looks a lot better than the orange one. I'll keep that for another day, for another project, if I need to. Just have a quick sippy, because that's going cold. Right, so my collage items. Oh, and I've also cut them into their individual ATC size now. So I did say that I used some of the papers from my retro collage collection and the Nature's Inspiration, and just used a punch for these. So just to give that a little bit of a pop, I am going to come back around just with that orange, just to kind of darken that up a little bit. And then that other circle there, again, just add a little bit, just to make it kind of pop a little bit from the background. And then we can grab the glue. And then I can position things like that. And then I've raked through my stamp collection. Well, this isn't a stamp collection, this is a collection of stamps that I've amassed for the sole purpose of including in collages. Let's drop that down there. So I've tried to find stamps that were the yellow or orangey in colour, which is quite difficult. Not that many. And that one says St. Louis, Missouri. So that's obviously a very old American one. And then I've used a butterfly punch, just for a little bit of interest. And we've gone just a little bit darker in tone. There we go. And that can go up there. Alright, so now I've got the basic layout for that one. I've got all my other collage bits for each one, so there. And I'm trying not to fall off my chair while I reach over and grab all the other bits. There we go. So now what I need to do is to arrange the elements that in a similar kind of arrangement, but make it different each time. So that's what we'll do. Cut that into that corner, lift that up a bit. There we go. And then the butterfly can sit like so. And for this one, we'll switch that over, that up top there, then in this corner. And then because we've got this sunflower across the middle, like, no, I think we'll drop that similar place down there, and then we can add that one up there. So all I need to do now, I've auditioned them, is just go around and just add that little bit of colour that I was talking about. So I will put some music on and go and fast forward while I'm just gluing the rest of these bits down. In fact, let's just go around all the bits first, add in the colour. Not adding any to the stamp. All right, we're back. So I'm going to give those a minute or two just to dry and grab. All right, just to finish off, I've got some self-adhesive sticky gems. So these colour are like a really deep bronzy colour. I think best if we add these just in. So these are very, very like deep yellow almost. bordering on. Now they don't look out of place because we've got that dark colour in the background of the ATCs anyway, so I think, yeah, just think adding these little things just to add a little bit of finishing touch, because you can make them as different as you want. There we go. And I think just to finish off, I will probably just go around the outside of each of the card. That didn't stick down very well. You know whether the ink is still a little bit wet. Just needs a bit of encouragement. Just to kind of add a subtle frame. I've just had to shoo a couple of pigeons off the roof of my shed because they were either fighting or doing unmentionables up there, and they were noisy. It's one of the drawbacks of having an art shed in the garden, or benefits, depends on which way you look at it. So there we go. So those are my May ATCs for Susie. I will put the ATC sticker on the back before I send them out and get them all signed off. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed watching me create these fairly simple layered ATCs, but they don't have to be over-engineered. That's what I always say to people. You know, every time you do something, it doesn't have to have 1,000,001 layers. It can be quite simple. Why not? Less is more. That's why the phrase was invented. So like I said, I hope you've enjoyed watching me create these today. If you have, please remember to give the video a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel already, you can do so by clicking the button at the end of the video. That's all from me for now. I'll see you all again very, very soon. Bye for now. I'd like to say a huge thank you to all of my angels, because without you, these videos would not be possible. And don't forget, you can access your exclusive angel-only content over on my website. There's a link in the description area below. Thank you.